So in this video, we're going to take a look at some new irons from Callaway. We've got 3 brand new Apex irons to take a look at. We're going to hit them, test them, and give you some feedback of the look, the feel, and also the performance. Oh wow, that feels soft. That's not the feel I was expecting. That felt fantastic off the club face. Okay, so new lineup from Callaway in the Apex department. Tons of technology to talk about in these irons, and first instincts, they look pretty good, don't they, from the back of the golf club. So we have got 3 brand new models. So Ai300 is basically going to replace the Apex DCB, the larger, quite a bit of offset, thickish top line, the most forgiving in the Apex family. We then go to the Ai200, which is going to replace the standard Apex iron, probably one of the more popular options, I would say, in the Apex family there, providing distance, feel, but also with some great looks. So the Apex Pro, CB and MB irons that we already see are staying in the range, so they aren't being changed. But there is a brand new iron, this Thai Fusion, so titanium headed golf club. So when I first look at that, I'm expecting this to be a massive bulky thing, an absolute bucket on the end of a stick and an absolute flying machine. But when I saw it, it looks fantastic. Black head, very sleek, and obviously going to create some consistency in a tour iron is what Callaway are saying, and we're going to come to that later in this video. So just butting in there, just asking for your help if possible. If you're enjoying the videos I'm putting out there and you haven't subscribed, please consider just hitting that subscribe button. It makes a difference to me. It helps me to get more videos out to you. Thanks very much. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so we're going to kick things off with the Ai300. So as I say, the largest, probably looking head of all the Apex family. Ultimate forgiveness, ultimate distance, but with that forged feel. So we're going to take a little look at this iron. So as I say, this is going to replace the DCB iron, which was, as I say, was quite an offset iron, and this is no different. So first impressions, it's if you don't like offset, you won't like this iron, but it's got quite a bit of offset there. It's obviously there for a reason. A very thick top line, and a very sort of, what I would say is quite a deep club face in a way, from the sole to the top of the club, and especially in that heel section, it looks really sort of deep. So confidence-wise, down with that golf ball, it's probably going to give you the most out of the whole of the Apex lineup, I would say. But that sounds fantastic. And that's not a sound I was expecting to maybe see from this type of iron. We've got a forged cavity and a forged face, so we're getting that sort of feel and definitely getting the sound there. That sounded beautiful. So we've got a forged 455 face, which is giving a tour level sound and feel. And I'd probably agree with that after that first shot. And that's surprisingly how it feels really good. So, you know, when you look at these sort of types of irons in the past and you see this big offset, big thick top line, pretty bulbous head in a way, when you look at it at the back, relatively sort of fat sole there, which is going to help with some recovery of maybe bad striking at the bottom of the golf swing. It's going to help and be a little more forgiving, really. When you look at these types of irons, you expect a sort of a loud noise, a bit of an explosive sound of it, but you do not get that with that. So these are the 7 irons that I'm hitting, and this 7 iron in the Ai300 comes in at 29 degrees of loft. So as you were going to expect in this type of iron, it's going to be a little bit in that stronger bracket to help with that sort of distance off the club face. Obviously, we're sometimes going to look at the spin number when we get into these stronger lofts, and maybe that's sort of sitting around that below that, just that short, that 5,000 mark. It's in that sort of low category, but we should have the height there, which we see 101 feet height, and a descent angle of touching up towards that 50-degree mark. So we have got some stopping power through that element. That feels really good off the club face, really good. Quietly impressed with that, to be honest. So some of the trade-offs you see with the stronger loft is maybe that inconsistency of the spin number, the inconsistency of that, maybe that front to back dispersion, maybe you get some hot ones coming out there, which when you're hitting an iron into the green, you sort of don't really want. But Callaway's saying this is really consistent on the spin and the distance of this particular iron, which we're going to take a look at when we look at the numbers later. So let's talk about the technology in this iron, and there's plenty of it. So as the name suggests, AI is obviously artificial intelligence. So from real data, from real golfers that take thousands and thousands of shots, they've put it into this club face here, or allowing Callaway to get a consistency across the club face, not just good hits, but also those misses. And then on top of that, we've got the cup face, we've got the urethane microspheres that we've seen in other models, we've got the MIM weight system in there as well. So there's plenty going on. Oh, that's a good strike again, but just a bit pulley. Yeah, this is where probably this head doesn't, it doesn't really suit my eye, because I don't like the offset. The offset feels like I'm going to hit that little pulley shot, and that's my bad shot anyway, so that's where it wouldn't sit quite right for me. But really, where does this iron sit for you as golfers? So for me, this is where maybe you're coming out of the smoke or the bigger game improvement irons, so the Paradigm Smoke, you might be coming out of that and going into this is like your first transition line into the Apex sort of series. So you're getting the forgiveness, you're getting the power, but you're also then getting probably a better looking golf club, I would say, but then the feel is just very, very different to what we see in the smoke range. Right, so availability in the Ai300, we've got a 4 iron all the way through to pitch wedge, as well as a gap wedge available both right and left hand. I'm not sure how many 4 irons they will sell. There might be an option as a bit of an add-on maybe to the standard Apex Ai200. You might go the 300 in that long iron. It's a bit of a drive iron because that 4 iron's coming in at 20 degrees of loft, so it is pretty strong. So moving over now to the Ai200. So as I mentioned before, this is going to replace the standard Apex iron. For me, this is probably going to be the most popular one out of all the Apex irons, probably hitting a bigger market. So what they call that player's distance iron. Other brands, for example, like TaylorMade, it's the P790, hugely popular iron. So this will be the more popular one, I would say. Great looking club again, looks very similar to the Ai300 from the back of the golf club, but very, very different in that playing position, where now we have much less offset, a sort of probably a medium top line now, not quite as bulky, and the depth of the hedges just looks like, to me, it looks like it's just sort of got a little bit shallow, a little bit like a bit more of a normal iron in a way, so the head doesn't look as huge and maybe as bulky. So if you're looking for a little bit more of a neater look, definitely this one. Hollow construction, forged back, forged face. Again, we should hopefully see that same feel, maybe a little bit better possibly with this than the previous one. Oh, that's a good strike. Nice opening shot with the Ai200. So again, the feel's there, the sound is there. It looks incredible from the back of the golf club. Really like it, you know, with that black badge Apex in there. 2 screws, you'll either like them or you won't like them. That satin sort of finish. Okay, a little bit pushy on that particular one. So these might just drop off a tiny bit of distance here, because a little bit of a push to a pull shouldn't be as far. Yeah, a little bit. Spin obviously went up slightly, open club face, but we have got 1 extra degree of loft in this Ai200 in comparison to the 300. So the 7 irons coming in at 30 degrees of loft. Very typical for that player's distance iron in this category. That's a good shot. Beautiful ball flight. Great feel. So really the difference in terms of technology between the 200 and the 300, there isn't. You know, everything is exactly the sort of same. Yes, the head shaping is very different, but what Callaway is saying, and obviously the loft is 1 degree different, but Callaway is saying this is providing a little bit more workability in comparison to that 300, which is a little bit more of a pure forgiveness and distance golf club. So in essence, if you prefer that little neater look, with still that forged and feel, that forgiveness with a bit of power still, then this is a really good option. Yeah, that's a nice one to finish up on with the Ai200. So availability wise in this iron, very same as the 300, 4 iron all the way through to pitch and wedge and gap wedge, both right and left hand. So price wise for these, 4 iron through to pitch and wedge, which is 7 iron set in steel shafts, is going to come in and around that £1,200 mark. Okay, moving into what I would say is the big one, and looks really good in the Apex lineup. Brand new iron. This is sitting a little bit differently from the other Apex irons that we've seen in the past, the Ai300. So as the name suggests, we've got titanium face now, the same titanium that Callaway are using in their drivers to obviously create as fast a ball speed as they possibly can. So when you first glance at this, and this was me when I first saw this iron, I'm thinking this is going to be one big chunky flying machine. It's absolutely the opposite. They call this the player performance iron, which is really sort of interesting. So it's black, obviously makes it look a little bit smaller and a bit more compact. A tiny bit of offset again, but what looks to be a slimmer, and it is a slimmer top line, so it's not the iron that I initially thought it would be. It's quite compact behind that golf ball, but obviously it's providing a bit of forgiveness, but with that bit of power. But ultimately, consistency is what Callaway is saying, which is interesting when you look at titanium and the word consistency. Sometimes they don't maybe go hand in hand. So again, we've got a hollow construction body, and this 7 iron again, 30.5 degrees of loft. Oh wow, and that feels soft. That's not the feel I was expecting. That felt fantastic off the club face. So 30.5 degrees of lost 7 iron and the Ai200 at 30 degrees, you think, well, that could be potential of a blending combination, but you probably just wouldn't. Number one priority is obviously the colour. You know, why would you have a half set black, half set in the sort of white or the chrome sort of looking golf? We just wouldn't do it. So obviously that probably wouldn't be an option, even as much as the lofting might suggest you could do that. That's a nice strike, just a bit pulley from me, but again, that feel is amazing. That feels so soft. It's just definitely the feel you wouldn't associate with this type of iron with a titanium sort of fusion in there. It's just so different to what I was expecting to sort of see from Callaway. And I'm going to put it out there, I'm probably going to say that's as soft as a one-piece forged iron. Whew, big comment there. Hollow construction, you definitely wouldn't, I mean, if a blindfold had told me that wasn't hollow, honestly, I couldn't tell. When you see sometimes hollow construction, just have that little clicky sort of sound to it. Not getting that with this. Oh, right, yeah, a little pushy one for me, which is different. But that's, again, that feels fantastic off the club face. It's flying really, really sort of nice. That's a good shot. Beautiful feel. I just can't get over how good that actually feels. Callaway saying this is a two-piece head material with the feel of a muscle back, and do you know what? I'm pretty much agreeing with them on that statement, to be honest. Okay, there's some shots hit with all those irons. Let's quickly check some numbers out, but we've got to talk about the price point, because when we see titanium in an iron, we generally see a hefty price tag, and unfortunately we are seeing that again in this Apex Ti-Fusion iron. So for a 4-to pitch and wedge, a 7-iron piece set in steel, you're looking around £2,000, which is a lot of money for an iron, but they do feel incredible. Appreciate you watching the video as always, and hopefully we'll catch you all very soon.